Let me describe someone who is absolutely crushing it. They got the promotion they worked for. They bought a house in a decent neighborhood. A real house, not some starter apartment. They drive a reliable car. Nothing flashy, just practical. They contribute to their 401k every single month without fail. They have life insurance. They even set up an automatic transfer to savings. They are doing everything the financial playbook told them to do. So why, at 43 years old, do they have $47,000 in retirement savings? Why is their net worth basically their house equity and almost nothing else? Why does every unexpected expense still feel like a crisis? Here is what nobody warns you about. The decisions that are quietly draining your wealth are not the irresponsible ones. They are not gambling debts or luxury vacations or designer clothes. The decisions destroying your wealth right now are the ones that look responsible. The ones that feel like you are finally being a real adult. The ones your parents told you to make. The ones your colleagues are making too. And because they look smart, they are almost impossible to recognize until you see the math. Today I'm going to show you 7 decisions that millions of financially anxious people make every year, thinking they are building their future. And I'm going to show you what those decisions are actually costing in real numbers and what to do differently. Before we get into it, I want to say something important. If you recognize yourself in these patterns, please hear this. You are not bad with money. You were given a financial playbook that was never updated for the economy we actually live in. A playbook written for a world with stable pensions, affordable housing, and predictable careers. That world is gone. And the rules that worked for your parents are quietly working against you. This is not about blame. It is about seeing clearly so you can make different choices going forward. Decision 1. Buying the car your income can support. The average new car payment in 2026 is $772 per month. Over a 6-year loan, that is $55,584 coming out of your bank account for a vehicle that will be worth about $15,000 when you finish paying for it. And 1 in 5 new car buyers is now committing to 7-year loans, 84 months, to make those payments feel manageable. Here is the responsible-sounding logic behind this decision. You need reliable transportation to get to work, you have the income to afford the payments, the car holds its value better than a cheaper one. Here is what the math actually says. If you took that same $772 per month, bought a reliable 3-year-old used car for $12,000 cash, and invested the $500 monthly difference for 25 years at historical market returns, you would have an additional $570,000 at retirement. Your car payment is not just a car payment. It is a retirement account you are choosing not to have. The fix is not to stop driving. It is to drive the car your net worth can afford, not the car your paycheck can technically survive. Decision 2. Buying the house the bank approves you for. When you walk into a mortgage lender's office, they will tell you what you can afford. But banks calculate affordability as the maximum amount you can pay without immediately defaulting. They do not account for your retirement contributions, your emergency fund, your childcare costs, your desire to take a vacation once a decade. According to the Atlanta Fed's Housing Affordability Monitor, a median-priced home now consumes nearly 48% of the median household income. The traditional definition of affordable is 30%. We have blown past that benchmark entirely. The family that stretches from a $320,000 house to a $550,000 house adds roughly $1,700 per month to their housing costs. Over 25 years, investing that difference instead would produce over $1.2 million in wealth. The house upgrade literally costs $1 million in retirement money. The pattern is this. Buy significantly below your approval limit, perhaps 70% of what the bank says you qualify for. Let the difference flow into investments. Live in a modest house and build an immodest future. Decision 3. contributing just enough to get the 401k match. Contributing to your 401k up to the employer match is smart. It is the right first step. The problem is when that first step becomes the only step, and it does for most people, because the responsible narrative is just get the free money. The IRS allows you to contribute up to $23,500 per year to a 401k in 2026. If you are over 50, there are catch-up contributions available as well. Most people contribute 5 to 6% to capture the match and call it done. A 35-year-old earning $85,000 who contributes 6%, just the match threshold, puts away $5,100 per year. At historical market returns over 30 years, that grows to roughly $640,000. Sounds solid, but a person contributing 15%, $12,750 per year, ends up with $1.6 million. The difference is nearly $1 million from adjusting one number on a form you filled out once and forgot about. The match is the floor, not the ceiling. Decision 4. Keeping money in a regular savings account. The average savings account interest rate in the United States is around 0.45%. Inflation runs at 2.5 to 3.5% annually in normal years. The math here is simple and brutal. Your savings account is a slow-moving wealth destruction machine. If you have $20,000 in a standard savings account earning 0.45% and inflation is running at 3%, your money is losing roughly $510 in real purchasing power every single year. You feel safe because the number is going up slightly, but what that number buys is shrinking faster than it grows. Your emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses, absolutely belongs in liquid savings. The money you might need in the next 12 months belongs there too. But every dollar beyond that working capital layer is losing ground in a savings account. It belongs in index funds, a Roth IRA, or a high-yield savings account at minimum. Money that is not working is slowly dying. Decision 5. Waiting until you can afford to start investing properly. This is the procrastination trap wrapped in a responsible-sounding package. The logic sounds intelligent. I want to do this right. I want to learn more before I put money in. I want to wait until I have a significant amount to invest, not just a few $100s. The math does not wait for you to feel ready. A 25-year-old who invests $200 per month until 65 will have approximately $640,000 at 8% average returns. A 35-year-old doing the same thing, starting just 10 years later, will have about $295,000. The 10-year delay costs $345,000 despite the exact same monthly contribution. You do not need to invest properly. You need to invest now. Put $50 into a total market index fund this week. It does not matter if it is a perfect amount, a perfect time, or a perfect plan. Starting imperfectly today is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars compared to starting perfectly 3 years from now. The best time to start was the day you got your first paycheck. The second best time is tomorrow morning. Decision 6. Paying extra on your mortgage before maxing retirement accounts. Being debt-free feels amazing. Psychologically, there is almost nothing better than the idea of owning your home outright. And that feeling is so powerful that millions of people make a mathematically costly decision based on it. If your mortgage interest rate is 3.5 to 5%, which is where many homeowners locked in over the past decade, then every extra dollar you put toward your mortgage is generating a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate. That is your comparison, 5% guaranteed versus the stock market's historical average of 7 to 10% over long periods. A person who puts an extra $500 per month toward their mortgage for 20 years saves significant interest. But that same $500 per month invested in a diversified index fund for 20 years grows to approximately $294,000, assuming 8% returns. The math strongly favors investing first, paying extra on the mortgage with what remains. The caveat, Your 401k match first, your high-interest debt eliminated, your emergency fund funded. Then invest. Then consider extra mortgage payments. The order of operations matters enormously. Decision 7. Funding your children's college before your own retirement. This is the most emotionally difficult decision on this list because it comes from love and sacrifice. Parents want to give their children a better start, and the college funding decision feels like the most loving, responsible thing a parent can do. Here is the financial reality that nobody wants to say out loud. Your children have decades to repay student loans. You do not have decades to rebuild a retirement account you depleted in your 50s. Your children can get scholarships, grants, work-study programs, and income-based repayment plans. You cannot get a scholarship for your retirement. The family that stops contributing to retirement during their 50s to fully fund college often enters their 60s with a portfolio that cannot support them through a 25 to 30-year retirement. Meanwhile, their child, who is 22 and at peak earning years, has a $40,000 student loan that $500 a month will eliminate in under 8 years. The most generous financial gift you can give your children is ensuring they do not have to financially support you in retirement. Fund your retirement first. Help with college using money beyond that. Be honest with your children about the math. They can handle it. Here is what makes these 7 decisions so dangerous. They compound each other. The oversized house requires the second car for the longer commute. The 2 car payments leave nothing extra for retirement beyond the match. The minimal retirement contributions mean the savings account is the backup. The savings account inflation loss means there is never quite enough to feel comfortable investing. And through all of it, your money is sitting mostly still while time, the one resource you cannot recover, is running out. These are not 7 separate problems. They are one interconnected pattern, and that pattern has a name. It is called doing everything right in the wrong order. Here's what to do starting this week, not someday, this week. Log into your 401k account today. Check your contribution rate. If it is below 15% of your income, increase it by 2%. Not 15% overnight, just 2% more than you contribute right now. Open one investment account if you do not have one. A Roth IRA is the best place to start for most people. Contribute $50. That is it. The habit matters more than the amount. Look at your total monthly car costs, payment, insurance, gas, maintenance. If that number exceeds 10 to 15% of your take-home income, that is your biggest wealth leak and your most actionable target. If you have money sitting in a regular savings account beyond 3 to 6 months of expenses, move the excess to a high-yield savings account or a simple index fund. Do not let idle money lose to inflation. If you are a parent with college-age children approaching, have an honest family conversation about what you can contribute without compromising your retirement. That conversation is a financial gift, not a failure. You do not have to fix all 7 things today, but fix one thing before the week is over. Motion matters. The compound interest of good decisions works exactly the same as the compound cost of bad ones. Picture yourself at 65, not the stressed version, the other one, the one who made slightly different decisions in their 40s. Not radical decisions, not sacrifice and deprivation, just decisions made in the right order with the right understanding of what each choice actually cost. That version of you wakes up on a Tuesday and does not check whether they can afford the day. They check what they want to do with it. They have options because they preserved options. They have margin because they chose margin over appearances. The 7 decisions I just walked you through are not 7 failures. They are 7 opportunities to be different from the pattern. Every single one of them is fixable. Some are fixable this week. Some will take a year. But not one of them requires a higher income, a lucky break, or a perfect market. They just require seeing clearly what you were never told. Now you do. If this video changed how you see even one of these decisions, share it with someone who needs to hear it. The people closest to you are making these same choices right now because nobody told them either. And subscribe so you never miss the next one. See you there.